Good day, everybody. Welcome to Where Knowledge is Power, MMW Motivational Midway Wednesday. This is your girl Reg, and I'm coming to you from Perth. Like I will always say, life is good, God is great, and situations are awesome. When we go through situations and challenges in life, they do three things: they make you unbeatable, unbreakable, and undefeatable. This is the African story. Hey, how are you guys going? So, this week I am going to do my British accent, right? I've been practicing this for a long time and it's gonna sound terrible, but hey, you gotta give it a go. So here we go. Hello everybody. So this week we are going to talk about Paul and Choma, and still following on from the blue therapy. So last week we talked about Jamal and Deborah, and we discussed not to compare your man to another man, and to be sensitive of what information you share to your friend about your relationship or your man. You know what? I'm just gonna lose that whole British accent because it's not working for me. So last week we had a discussion around blue therapy, and we talked about not comparing your man to another man, and also be very sensitive how open our book is. And if we are an open book, we should be the only ones reading that book and not open everything up to our friends, about relationship or about men. So it was very interesting, and the couples we looked at were Deborah and Jamal. So this week we are looking at Paul and Choma. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a video clip from Blue Therapy, and we are going to have a discussion after that video clip, right? Keep in mind that Blue Therapy is a social experiment, and it is happening in the UK. What they're trying to do is to see if therapy works for couples, and how they can sort out their issues. So tune in, and guess what? I'm just going to play this video, and after playing the video, I'll be back and we will have a discussion, all right? Okay, here we go.
About work. If it's about working, then I understand, yeah, the review right, works. So tell me, Paul, before you got involved with Shoma, how did you run your household?
Well, obviously, everything was self-sustainable, self-managed. However, at the end of the day, I think the question that you should be asking Choma is if she is getting into a relationship with a person like myself, I don't want to say bring it to the table, but...
What am I bringing to the table?
I'm not saying that you don't bring anything to the table. I'm saying you need to let her know that there's certain things that are expected when she's receiving, a certain frequency.
Okay, so first of all, I contribute to the bills. I'm doing my own. I take care of myself. Of course, he buys me things, but I'm going out to shop for myself. I'm also taking care of the home and him. Yeah, he might do most of the finance, but I'm bringing a lot to your life, and without me, he will be in deficit, he'll be lacking some things, okay? Let's not get confused. I work, okay? Paul does not finance me completely. Does that make sense? Yes, he earns significantly more than I do, but he doesn't finance me, all right? So if you're talking about me becoming a housewife, clearly, because you're talking about finances and me bringing something to the table, what's wrong with being a housewife? Was that the plan we had when we first met?
It's a genuine question.
I don't want to be a housewife. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't want to be a housewife. I have a choice. Does that make sense? If I wanted to be a housewife, I would have become a housewife. That's what you keep pushing for me to do. That's not what I want to do, babe.
Okay.
Okay?
Denise.
He used to clean his own house and change his sheets and cook for himself. We just moved in together 6 months ago, and all of a sudden that has now become my duty and mine alone. Bearing in mind, both of us are busy.
Now, with myself, I'm an earner. Do you understand? I will go out and I will come back and I'm bringing the bacon for real. Do you understand? If that's the case, and I'm able to provide for the both of us and kids in the future, from now, why would she stress herself being out, trying to earn the same thing that I already have? Sit down. Let's figure out something. I would have come home with a check and say, babe, how should we invest this?
And did you notice that things had changed once Shoma moved in?
In terms of how I behave.
You became lazy.
No. Let's not be toxic, babe. Look, this is what it is, right? How can I put this? If I, let's say, last client finished by like 9:30. So, okay, whereabouts am I? The Bulgari, night switch, right? 10 minutes from home. So, Trauma works in the city, 20 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes from home. So if she gets home, she finishes at 5 roughly, and she's home roughly, maybe not 5:30, traffic or that, maybe 6, and I get home 9:30. Have you made a plan? Don't you think it's a bit practical to kind of consider that your partner may be coming home? But wait, this is for you, Denise. Do you think that
I can understand what you're saying, and there does seem to be a few hours to spare. However...
No, don't do it. Tell her that.
No, I'm not here to tell anyone.
Oh, wow, this video is amazing, and I believe and I am trusting that everybody is loving this. Goodness gracious. Wow, but these guys, first of all, why do you need a social experiment to sort out issue like this that you can sort out at home? All you need to do is talk to people, talk to yourselves, and get the thing on the table. But I think the problem is, Chioma can't talk to Paul. Why can't Chioma talk to Paul? Because Paul is insensitive, overqualified. He's a narcissist. He's overly righteous. He's a people pleaser, and he's arrogant. How can you have a sensible discussion with someone who have all those attributes? Let's talk about Paul for a minute. Wow, Paul is the man of every woman's dreams. Okay, he looks presentable from the outside. He looks appealing. Yeah, he looks enticing. He looks responsible. He looks expensive. He looks capable. He looks educational. He looks intelligent. And he just have the all-in-one package from the outside. His outward appearance is invoking, but his inward appearance is provoking. Oh, wow. Paul is just a seasonal man. He's that type of man that you just want to get with, don't you? And wow, he's just a man. Whew. Let's take a closer look at Paul for a minute. In public health, we believe that a man environment and his upbringing makes him, okay? We believe in things called social determinants that a man, who a man is right now or who a person is right now is not based on the situation that he's in, but other factors that contribute to where he is or where he or the situation he's in. And these factors are called social determinants, and it could be environmental factors, it could be upbringing, it could be, worldview, it could be a lot of things, but these are the social determinants that contribute to who a person is. Let's take a closer look at Paul in another way. What does it mean to date a man who is insensitive, or a person, a man in this case, who is insensitive, overqualified, or narcissist, over righteous, or people pleaser, and arrogant? What does it mean? Dating such people, it means that, everything is perfect with them. They believe that nothing is wrong with them, but something is wrong with everybody. Okay, they believe, that they can do nothing wrong. Okay, they always want to feel superior and admire and be in control of the things and the people around them. They feel like they need to oversee and be in charge of people's life, and they feel like everything is wrong with them, and there is no point or there is no reason to seek help. When they are in relationship, they feel like the other partner or the other half is less important because they have too much expectations of that person. They hold everybody else responsible for issues but themselves. And it's just interesting. They can't own stuff. They are unable to comprehend the point the other person is trying to bring across the table. If you go further down the video, you will realize that Chioma is trying to bring out some discussion and some issues that they're going through, some of which are his sister, but he is being very arrogant and not even trying to comprehend what she's saying, but diverting the question or diverting the situation to something else. They just don't understand the feeling or the point the other person is trying to make. They believe that everyone else has to change but themselves, because there is nothing wrong with them, everything is right with them. They will stop at no cost to please other people, even if it means they have to start from scratch. Trauma said in a video that they go to expensive restaurant and expensive places with his mates, and he do things to please them, and at the end it comes back to her and she have to suffer for it. So they don't consider the other person's feelings or how their actions will affect the other person, because guess what, it's always about them. What they want to do, what is right, that's what they feel like doing. And also they are very inconsiderate towards the other half in terms of decision making. And it doesn't matter how that decision impact the other person, and they always try to undermine the other person's contribution into the relationship. They feel like, their success, the relationship success, and the other person's success is based mainly on their own contribution, but not the other person. Dating such people, it's all about them. It's all about them and not the other person. They are very insensitive towards other people's feelings because they are narcissists, and they feel very overqualified. They feel like they're righteous and there is nothing they can do wrong. If you watch the video further down, you will realize that the therapist is trying to ask Paul a question, and Paul is trying to ask her that same question, like, why don't you ask that to Chioma or tell that to Chioma? So he is very arrogant in his response, and the way he approached the table and the situation. So what's the impact of dating such men? For a woman, what's the impact of dating an insensitive, overqualified, a narcissist, over righteous, or people pleaser, and an arrogant man? What does it mean for you? It means mentally you are going to be drained, mentally, emotionally. It is going to drain you. It makes you always, in a fearful place. You're always fearful and anxious, because you feel, or that this person will not defend you, in any situation. Chioma did mention the situation about Paul's sister, and Paul is telling Chioma that she is toxic because she's the issue. So that causes anxiety when you're with your partner and he's not defending you. It causes you to live in fear and be anxious. It leaves you emotionally traumatized, and it makes you feel uneasy and worried every time you're around that person, because there is nothing you do that is right for them. Their expectations are too high. They criticize you a lot, and sometimes you feel worthless and not enough, only because of their expectation, only because they feel that they're the one who are doing everything and you are doing nothing. And sometimes this can lead to depression, or PTSD, or sometimes borderline personality disorders. So what does that mean? What action can you take as a woman? I will tell you, seek help for yourself. Get away from such relationship, because guess what? It is going to turn your life from brighter to darker. Okay, it is going to leave you feeling very sad, very unhappy, very ungrateful about life, because you're always in a fearful mode. And that's why it is very important for us, parents who are raising our boys, to train them in such a way that they are going to be sensitive towards other people's feeling, and they are going to be considerate towards other people. This video is really, it's the all-in-one package. I want you to watch it, and I hope that it is good, and you learn from it as a woman and as a man, and you kind of have a criteria, of what you should do in your relationship and what you should not do. It. This video is very important, and I found it very meaningful. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to hearing your discussion. All right, have a good day.